Every now and then, out of the blue, I get an offer that I just can't refuse. And a friend of mine came to the shooting league here a few weeks ago and asked me if I was interested in a Sig 2340 with a whole bunch of ammunition and even a couple of holsters for a price I just couldn't turn down. In fact, what I paid was mostly covered the ammunition, and the gun was not quite free, but pretty close. Couldn't turn it down. Why do I want a Sig 2340? Never even heard of it before that. Although this gun, if I remember right, it came out about 1980, 1998 or so. You just barely see it. It is well worn. You can see Sig SP, Sig Pro 2340. A lot of departments are going to the polymer frame pistols at the time, and Sig was kind of behind the game with the 226, 229, 228, etc. In fact, when my department switched to the Glock, my neighboring department, the Ann Arbor Police Department, switched to the SIG 226. I believe the Michigan State Police, about the same time, late 1980s, also switched to the 226. A little heavier than this. I did, I think, a test on a 229 here a while back. And if any of my videos that I think are relevant, I'll post somewhere up here. So I picked up the 2340, and obviously that means it is 40 caliber. All right, stay tuned. We're going to talk more about it, and we'll shoot it. Thanks for dropping in while we take a look at the SIG 2340, the SIG Pro 2340. Before I go any farther, you know that YouTube is not really friendly to gun channels, so I highly appreciate it if you would, if you like the video, click on the thumbs up to help the algorithm. And if you haven't already done so, you like what you're seeing here on Rider's Range, by all means click on the subscribe button, and don't forget to click on the notifications bell so you know when the next video is coming up. I try to drop one every Sunday morning if I can, and occasionally throughout the week on rare occasions when I get time to make another video or when something else comes my way. And comments are appreciated. Please, comments on this video or comments on anything, but drop them down below. But just remember, it's a family channel. Try to keep them polite. All right, so got an opportunity to pick up this 2340. Never heard of it before, and just for the safety nannies, I will show you the magazine's unloaded, and gun is in fact unloaded, and I'll even decock it here. Decocker doesn't feel like it ever did on the 226 one or 229 for that matter. So the gun came with 4 magazines. I'm not going to argue with them. There's a 12 round, there's a 10 round, there's another 12 round, and another 10 round magazine. I'll come back to those in just a minute. And it even came with something that is kind of hard to find these days, and that is the large grip module, which you can swap out for the standard one. Interesting that the standard one has texture on the sides, texture on the back, not much in the way of texture on the front, just some vertical and horizontal striations. Oh, there's even some horizontal striations on the front of the trigger guard. Give you a little bit of traction if you shoot like Jerry or Lena Mikulik. So again, if you want to shoot like that, cool, go for it. The back panel switch is real easy. It's just a little tab you push down inside here, switch off the back, put on the larger one. This one is hard. Well, it looks like there's some like skateboard tape on the back of this. Again, used, but it doesn't have traction on the side. It's rubberized, and you can see where that's kind of cracking. So this one was on, and this one was with it. I swapped it back out, put the medium size one on. And you can still find the larger grips on eBay if you need to. Magazines are interesting in that the 12 round and the 10 round are about the same, but that's mainly because the 10 round has a larger base plate on it to make it fit flush with the gun and give you just a little bit of a finger hold on there. And the 12 round fits just the same. Just again, there's a little less, well, you can see from the bottom. A lot of wasted space in there in the 10 round. Anyway, 12 round magazines, and double action, single action, and we'll compare those in just a minute, or we'll look at those in just a minute, because I want to compare those with another gun that I have that I thought was kind of similar to this. This is double action, single action, so run the slide, hammers back, pull down the decocker, and it decocks it safely. There is no manual safety on it. And then you have a double action type trigger, gun cycles, you got a fairly long reset, a lot of take up, and then a fairly nice single action. We'll do that one more time. So you got a fair amount of take up or release, and then you're right pretty much at kind of a spongy and then suddenly harder single action, but not a bad trigger, and there is a lot of over travel on it. Slide stop lever is can be problematic for those of us who shoot 1911 style guns and ride our thumb right up there. Slide won't lock back. I had a couple of Fairleader lockbacks, and one of those was magazine related, I think, but the other one really is just that's where I ride it. Nothing ambidextrous about it, although it does look like you might be able to switch over the mag release, but other than that, there's nothing ambidextrous about this gun, other than the trigger, of course. Let's see, this has the sights that I kind of like. It's a post and a dot. If you go with the post and the dot, it's relatively accurate, but if you want precision, you got to ignore the whites and look at the right angles to get more precision, equal height, equal light, and so forth. But the gun was actually relatively accurate. I'll be rolling some footage as we go through this. The first
ball front sight post rear
was when I sighted this thing in. I put up a target at 15 yards, just wanted to see where it shot. And first shot, I pulled a little low left. Okay, getting used to the double action. Everything else, the next 9 shots were single action. And 8 of those 9 were in actually a pretty nice group, just a hair low and a hair left of center. And again, that's without tweaking the sights. It is drift adjustable in the rear. And in fact, if you look at it from the top, it almost looks like the rear sight is just a tad to the left. I can use that as my excuse anyway. All right, Sig also made these in 9mm and 357 in addition to the 40 caliber, and they eventually dropped the 40. Again, just not really popular. For some reason, people didn't like the 40 S&W, which some people call the 40 short and weak. All right, also, I did want to compare this, though, with another 40 that I have that's kind of similar. This is the Beretta PX Storm. About 5 years ago, I did a video on this. I'll post it up here somewhere. And again, the Safety Folks magazine's empty, and nothing in the barrel. Different decocker on this. This is actually a decocker safety. Pull it down, it stays in the safe position, and you can fire double action and single action. Again, long release, long take up, but very little over travel. Another polymer frame, 40 caliber gun. Lots of similarities. In fact, weights are pretty similar. The Sig 2340 with 13 rounds of 180 grain ammunition, so it's 12 in the magazine, 1 for the chamber, comes out at 37.5 ounces. The Beretta PX4 Storm, on the other hand, which is considered a full-size gun, holds 14 in the magazine, and actually in some magazines it'll hold 17 rounds. And I use those in my CX4 carbine. Did a video on that too. I'll try to post these somewhere up here. But with 15 rounds, 14 in the magazine, 1 for the chamber, is 37.8, so 0.3 of an ounce heavier with 3 more rounds of ammunition. Trigger pull is a little different though. I like the feel. Again, we are safe. I like the feel of the double action. Get the safety off on the Beretta. It feels better than it does on the Sig. However, I complained about a long double action. It's a longer pull, but it actually weighs just a little bit less. Or actually, I'm sorry, just a little bit more. So it comes out to about 10 pounds double action on the Sig, 9.5 double action with a slightly shorter, more comfortable pull on the Beretta. Single action, on the other hand, on the Beretta is 5 3/4 pounds, which is still, maybe a little heavier than some might like, but again, it's a defensive gun. A lot of take-up, and a fairly nice, short, crisp, but some over travel on it. The Sig, on the other hand, in single action, is still, you got take-up, but it's a much shorter, crisper trigger pull with really no over travel in single action. Comes out at 4.75 pounds. So, again, a little better double action on the Beretta, a little better single action on the Sig. Now, another big difference is I won't know about direct head-to-head comparison. I reviewed the Beretta 5 years ago, December of 20, I believe, and did all of my testing with remanufactured ammunition, so my hand loads and some commercially remanufactured. Didn't work really well with that gun. Go back and check that video out. On the other hand, with the 2340 Sig, I used all factory ammunition. Again, that's kind of what I bought the gun, to get that ammunition. Not that I need more 40, but anyway, that was a whole lot more accurate. You can see by the target, shot a little bit low left, but when it came to the plates, I was fine. When it came to 25 yards, I did pretty good. And even at 50, I did much better with this than I did with the Beretta, but again, commercial reloads and the hand loads 5 years ago. Ammunition could have made a difference. Who knows what it was. I haven't compared these side by side. Anyway, it was a popular, I won't say real popular because they dropped it, but popular enough for Sig to want to come out with this with an interchangeable grip. That was the first polymer frame, well, partially polymer, with an interchangeable grip that Sig had made. And it actually had a proprietary rail on it. Certainly wasn't a Picatinny rail, but again, one of the first for Sig. So an interesting gun that not something I want to rush out and carry, but it works. The price was right, and I was kind of surprised at how well it worked. All right, a look at a discontinued but interesting to me gun. We didn't look at this side or anything on it. Not a whole lot there. It said, read owner's manual before use. Okay. And here it says, firearm made in... All right, the firearm was actually made in Switzerland. Even though it's Sig Arms out of Exeter, New Hampshire, but the gun itself was made in Switzerland. All right, interesting gun. Probably going to spend a lot of time in the safe, not much time on the range, but hey, the price was right. All right, thanks so much for stopping in.